Welcome to another edition of the Cardinal Authority Podcast. Jody Demling, the publisher here. I'm Michael McCammon, senior writer. Jody, it's almost here. I mean, before you know it, Louisville's going to be kicking off against Charlotte, and there's so much still to talk about.
We got under in single digits earlier in the week, and now we're under a week, Michael, and it's that time. It's almost game week. I'm looking forward to Monday. We get on a real schedule. Actually,
yeah.
What's weird is it's a Thursday night game, so Monday is actually a Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah,
Sunday's a Wednesday, Monday's a Thursday.
Saturday is their Monday, I think, is what they're going to do. So figure it out. You know, that's what college. You know, that's what TV's done to us. They've screwed up. You know, it used to be Sunday to Saturday was our week, but you know, every now and then it's Thursday to Wednesday. But yeah,
lots of excitement, Michael, and lots of hype. And I will say this: that the more we hear it, the more we see it, the more we talk about it, the more I'm believing it.
Yeah,
and I really am. And I'm buying in. I said this earlier in the year. If you recall, when I went to Las Vegas for our Scout.com national convention back, that was the week after Derby. I said then that I thought I made a bet that was a pretty darn good bet. Looking at the odds to win the national championship game, and Louisville being one of the schools that was outside of the quote unquote, favorite kind of odds. I mean, they were 75-1, and now they're down to 40-1. So there's been a lot of movement in that area. I'm glad I got in when I did.
Yeah, Louisville certainly, as the season gets closer to kicking off, seems like a trending team. You know, that a lot of people are starting to jump aboard. Say Louisville's got a shot to reach that ACC championship game, which then obviously if you get to there, one victory away from getting to the college football playoffs. But obviously you're talking about Louisville, a top 20 team. AP poll comes out. Louisville's number 19. Yet they've still got Clemson, Florida State, a pair of top 5 teams in their division that they've still got to deal with. I mean, in normal years, in Louisville's past, whether it's Conference USA, Big East, American, whatever conference they've been in the past, at number 19 preseason, you're feeling pretty good chances that Louisville's going to come away as the conference champion. And now they've still got 2 other teams in the top 5 nationally they have to contend with just in their division alone. So it's going to be an exciting year. It
really is. And like I said, it's going to be fun. It starts all next week. And, there's some things for us to find out between now and then. We found out today Stacey Thomas is actually playing. We won't know the kicker and the punter. We assume it's Mason King and Evan O'Hara. That's kind of what we've heard. But we won't know that until game time probably. Bobby Petrino might announce it on Monday. Rotations and things like that, people get caught up in so many things. And here's my whole thought on it. The wide receiver, the running back, and the secondary. They have so many guys that can play so many moving parts that it really doesn't matter who's going to start. You're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah, I agree. And those are spots. It's kind of you're scratching your heads. Okay, who do we not start? That's how deep they are. And then when you throw in the additions that they've had, including some of these freshmen at the wide receiver spot, guys like Seth Dawkins, who I think coming in, was not forgotten about, but obviously there was a lot of talk about, Des Fitzpatrick, highly rated guy, then Keon Wakefield, the local kid. But and those guys have looked great, from what we've seen. But Seth Dawkins is really impressed, a guy that could actually become one of the guys on special teams returning kicks as well as on coverage. So a lot of exciting and intriguing things to look for, especially in that opener, which should allow the coaching staff to tinker around and put in some different rotations as they build a quick lead against Charlotte. But, as you mentioned, special teams still, unknown. Tony Grantham today, the special teams coordinator, he said they know who it is. But so we'll see when the decision comes. Could be, like you said, could be game day. But Petrino could do it, next Monday as well. So it's almost here. I'm getting excited. Jody, you recently had a chance to talk to the Charlotte head coach.
I did, Brad Lambert. And, they're, first of all, Seth Dawkins, as you mentioned there, but if you look, and I posted this last night as our top 5 newcomers that we're projecting, and I've been told that not only will we see Seth Dawkins on special teams, but that there is a really good chance that we're going to see a lot of Seth Dawkins as a wide receiver this year as well. So take it for what it's worth, but that just goes to show you how good his last 2 weeks have been. I did have a chance to chat with Brad Lambert, the Charlotte coach. We'll play a little bit for you here in the podcast. Khalif Phillips, the name on offense you need to remember. He's a running back who he would have had 1,000 yards for the last 2 years for those guys at Charlotte, but he got injured, missed the last 4 games last year. Kevin Olson is the quarterback. You might recall Kevin Olson, the transfer from Miami, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And Lenny Agaboji is the defensive guy who you need to worry about. He is a Bednarik Award and Outland Trophy watch list. He tied last year second CUSA with 14.5 tackles for a loss, and he is 8th in career tackles for a loss right now, active players in FBS. So those are the names you've got to worry about. Now, they were 2-10 last year, their first year in FBS, just their 4th year as a program. And Coach Brad Lambert talked a lot about how this is kind of a first for them, a big opener on a Thursday night schedule.
Yeah, no question, Jody. The guys get tired of hitting each other, and the coaches get mad at each other, and the offense and the defense going at it. So it's everybody's always excited about getting to the season. And for our guys especially, getting an opportunity to go play a good team like Louisville at their place, on a Thursday night, that's a big deal for our guys. So everybody's excited about the opportunity.
Coach, I've read up a lot on the program, and obviously you came in the situation to build this thing, and you guys the second year in FBS, and there's been so many firsts in the program. How big is this first Thursday night, this Thursday night game where you're going to be a lot of focus on you guys? And I know you had games like that last year, but to be the opener and to be playing a top 25 team on a Thursday night, it's got to be good for the program.
Yeah, it's big. It's a big deal for our guys. It's kind of amazing, though, to me, to come here in 2011 when we didn't have anything. We didn't have a ball. We didn't have a stadium. And to think how fast, I was telling somebody the other day, you look up and you're like, wow, we're in our second year and we're on a Thursday night against Louisville. It wasn't long ago I was at Wake Forest playing against Louisville in the Orange Bowl, So it's happened really fast for us. But our guys are, like I said, they're excited about, getting to see the stadium and coming to play.
Jody, sounds, I like the sound of things. I like your conversation there with Coach Lambert. But again, as you were mentioning, a pretty new program, just brand new to FBS in Conference USA. I think it's a great opener for Louisville. As we talked about earlier in the podcast, it should be an opportunity for the coaching staff to really look at some different combinations and give some of those youngsters that they think will play this year some actually quality time in the season opener.
Yeah, look, Michael, this is a Charlotte team that's going to be a lot better than they were last year when they went 2-10, when they went and got blown out by Kentucky in the last game of the year. They're going to be better than that for sure. There's no question about it. But are they good enough to come in Papa John's Cardinal Stadium and shut down Lamar Jackson and try to slow down this Louisville offense or try to score on this Louisville defense? No, I don't think so. They're 39.5-point favorites for a reason. I think Louisville is going to cover next week. And, I think that it'll be interesting because it'll be interesting to see what guys they use and what guys they don't use as far as on both sides of the ball next week. But you know what? This time next week, we won't have to worry about it. We'll be doing a podcast recapping the first game of the year, and that's the best time of the year is when the season starts.
Now, with the game on a Thursday night, obviously there's some bonuses for that, and then there's a few negatives as well. Obviously, you're getting that national television exposure, but being on a weeknight, night before high school game night, that means you're not going to have too many kids in making some unofficial visits, as is usually a custom thing once the season gets going. But Thursday night kind of limits that. I don't know if they'll really have too many kids coming in for visits this week or next week for the game. But really, going into as the season gets going, this football staff, Bobby Petrino and his staff, really got to like where they are as far as recruiting in the 2017 class.
No, they do. They've got 19 guys committed. They're probably going to have to get rid of a couple guys, for the lack of a better way to say it. But that's just the way it is. They're probably going to have to get rid of a couple guys when it comes to signing day. You're not the 19 that are on board right now are not going to be all 19 on board come signing day. If they are, it's a major shock to us and to the staff because they know how the whole thing works, and they'll lose a guy or two, and then they'll have to maybe get rid of a guy or two because they only have, right now they only have 5 more spots left. And you're talking about August 20. You're talking about August before September 1st. And I think by next week they could have another one, because I think Justin Marshall right now is pretty close to committing. Colin Wilson, the running back from Florida, I think they could land him in the next couple of weeks. And then Ben Hutch from Tennessee, I think also could be close to being off the board. And Stephon Zayas, the defensive end from Tennessee. So you're talking about 4 guys right there. They could be up to 23 before the end of the second or third week of the season.
And Louisville moving in a different direction than maybe a kid they've currently got committed isn't something new. I mean, if you think back, they had Tylen Oden and Juwan Pass both committed, and that was kind of a similar situation, where Tylen could kind of see the writing on the wall, and if he was going to come to Louisville, he might have to switch positions, and those things happen all the time. And it's obviously, if you're a coaching staff, a great position to be in.
Yeah, no, it is, and again, it's just not, They've got it all under control and taken care of. They know what they're doing, and but there will not be a lot of guys. It will not be a big name game next week. It just won't be because these Thursday night games are killers, and they'll try to bring in as many good guys as they can for the Florida State game. That will be the one game that they really try to hone in and bring guys in for because that is the game, it's the best of the Saturday games. So,
and that's going to be here before you know it as well.
Yeah, it will.
It's pretty crazy, but football staff's feeling pretty good about their recruiting. Basketball staff has to feel great as well. NewScout.com rankings came out for the 2017 kids as well as the current commitments, and still early in the process, but Louisville, amongst the top 10 nationally in classes with 2 commitments so far.
Yeah, Malik Williams moved up to number 21 in the rankings, and we got to see a lot of Malik this year. I think I saw 18 of his 27 games this summer as well. The staff got to see all of them. I saw a bunch of Darius Perry as well. He's ranked number 76. Again, hopefully it's not a coincidence that the 2 guys that I saw the most are the first 2 guys on the board. We added a new name to the board, Jordan Tucker, on Wednesday night. It looks like that the relationship has really picked up between Tucker and assistant coach Mike Bellato. I expect that Rick Pitino at some point this weekend, he is in Miami with his reunion for the championship team for Kentucky right now, and they're having their little shindig get together, whatever they're having. I would expect at some point in the next couple days that if he hasn't already, that he will reach out and they'll get in touch and probably offer Jordan Tucker. He moves up to, I wouldn't say the top of the list, but near the top of the list with Brandon Randolph, Alex O'Connell, and Lance Thomas. Those 4 guys, the main guys to look at for the final 2 spots, with Maktar Gui as the only other guy really in the list. And I'll say this, and DJ Harvey wants to come to the University of Louisville. I think Louisville could get DJ Harvey right now if they wanted him, but he had a really disappointing summer. And at this point, he's ranked number 43 in the class. At this point, I would be surprised if Rick Pitino signs off on DJ Harvey. I just would, because of what he saw this summer, the lack of what he saw in every game that Rick Pitino was at. DJ Harvey had a pretty bad outing. So while we're listing him still on the board because the kid wants to visit here and the kid wants to come here, I don't think he's an active recruit for Louisville. I think it's really down to 5 guys for the final 2 spots.
Okay, and one of those I want to ask you about. I've got about a minute and a half left, and as you know, it's been a big topic of discussion ever since Louisville jumped on him, and that's Alex O'Connell. Duke's been a team that a lot of people have talked about. They've now extended that offer. Your opinion, how much does that impact? It's got to impact quite a bit, I think.
I don't, it's not the end all offer that some people have made it to sound out to be. Yeah, his dad played there and it's a big one. But, for most kids, you put Louisville in the same situation as well. And you put Syracuse. When he landed the Syracuse offer a couple weeks ago, I thought that was a game changer. That's one that he was going to wait on and try to maybe go, and he's scheduled a visit and he's going to go, look at Syracuse. A lot of people, because we're so close to it, Michael, people don't realize, but when people talk about Duke and these other ones, other schools talk about Louisville that way too.